I'm back in it. I'm gonna do it. God, that brings me so back immediately. I've turned on the switch on the power supply for the Apple IIgs, and I'm back in waiting for it to load. We're back playing Tower of Myraglen, and I'll be playing a bit more to kind of reacquaint myself with the wonder and the beauty of it all, listening to the doors open, trying to avoid the repair zombies. And I've been reading up on the manual a little bit and some of the history of it a little bit. I'll go into that once the game loads. I don't recall if this is how long the game took before. I think it is. The discs are working, or at least the one disc is working. So I think the program disc is in, disc one. Memory, golly, back in the day, that would have said 512K or 1024K. Our Apple IIgs that we got, oh, there's the title screen. And Richard L. Seaborne, I can't move the mouse to show you his name, but Richard L. Seaborne was writing this Tower of Myraglen in hopes for it to be a Dungeons and Dragons module. But TSR wasn't interested. And then I'm not sure when that was, probably 85 or 86, maybe earlier. And he couldn't get TSR to bite on his project, so he went the route of making it into a computer game. And he first wanted to present his game to Electronic Arts, to EA, and I guess they were a few blocks away from him, but he couldn't find the place. So he saw a software place called PBI at the time and went into PBI and walked out with a contract. I forget where this is, if it's out in California. I can recall ordering computer games, my brother and I, as children back in the day, back in the 80s. And we could call up the companies and order these games up till like 7 o'clock at night. There it is again. Anyway, we could order these games up till like 7 o'clock at night because all the computer companies were out in California and we were in Maine. So their hours, we got eventually like a brochure of games and it labeled the hours, the store hours, and it was till 4 o'clock. But that was 4 o'clock California time. So it was always so cool to be able to order games from California like in the evening, like at dinner time. Prepare thyself for the quest. I have fond memories of like eating dinner and then it being like 6 o'clock, 6:30, and looking through the brochure showing computer games and like picking one and calling the company before 7 o'clock. And it was always this kind of a Christmassy kind of feeling because this is like the mid 80s, late 80s, because we got our computer in 86. And so it was always so cool to be ordering from a company in California. And we could do it like in the evening time when all sorts of stores were kind of already closed in Maine at the time. So I'm assuming that he was out in California, Richard L. Seaborne. And this game was made in 87, and it was the very first game built solely for the Apple IIgs. And I guess he worked on a game called Prophecy and The Fall of Trinidad, Escape from Hell. Oop, file, game. Where are we? Where's my big... I guess I'm waiting for it to kind of keep coming in. I'm waiting for my big cursor to show up, but it's not there yet. And I found a manual of the game. Okay, waiting on the game to load, the clock. In the age of darkness, oh God damn it. In the age of darkness, the remnants of a once great civilization are drawn together. The few remaining knights of justice have answered the King of Myraglen's plea for help. They have come to save the world, knowing that its only hope lies with them. Each knows well the world of Myraglen and of its devastation since the unholy wars. Myraglen is infected with a disease that cannot be cured without another confrontation. But this final battle is feared by all, for the armies of evil are vast and those of good are virtually non-existent. Only a handful of good knights live now, and they are gathered together at the ruins of Castle Myraglen. There they hear the wise words of the king. He warns of an ancient device, a relic created by the Archmage Mendelik. This artifact, entitled the Medallion of Soul Stealing, is said to have power so great no mortal, let's continue quest. No, oh, I'm at the beginning, okay. No mortal can hope to escape it. Sorry. This artifact, entitled the Medallion of Soul Stealing, is said to have power so great that no mortal can hope to escape it. It drains its victim's soul from its very being, leaving it unharmed though lifeless. The king explains why this medallion must be considered during these last days of goodness. If we, the good side, can get the medallion before evil does, victory may yet be ours. Without it, certain defeat is inevitable. The king furthers that the medallion could very well be the only chance goodness has for survival. Sadly, he says that the medallion is protected. Only the purest, most intelligent knight of justice is said to be... Is that it? Oh, okay. Well, that's it. Okay, so the pages are funny here. It said only the purest knight is said to be capable of retrieving the medallion from its storage place, the Tower of Myraglen. Even worse, he states, the tower itself has many mystic spells placed upon it. No conventional weapons or armor can pass through its gates, and only one person may be within its confines at any given time. Attempts to do otherwise will result in the destruction of the violators. As a result, he informs the knights, his wizard has created a magical ring. The ring will pass through the tower's gates, as it is not a conventional weapon. It is a ring of unlimited arrows. With it, the knights may fight with a sword. Or similar weapon, while firing arrows in any direction. One thing to be careful of, the ring's arrows will, because they are magically guided, strike the easiest to hit object. If a creature hides behind a chair, the chair will be hit rather than the beast. You must draw it away from the obstacle and shoot it, or enter normal combat with a weapon you might find in the tower. The king concludes that each knight must enter the tower, trying to bring back the medallion. If one knight fails, another must try. If all knights fail, he will enter. He says that he needs the medallion for Myraglen. Each knight is given a ring of unlimited arrows and escorted to the base of a mammoth tower. Legends foretold of the tower and its many riddles, puzzles, and tests for goodness. Never before has there been any provocation to enter. Those who dared enter due to whim were never seen again. Other, more wise people accepted the tower as a monument of justice and purity. Now, no matter what it is or represents, each knight will enter and measure his skills against those of the tower. As one of the last knights of valor, The king wishes you luck and success. As a farewell, he says, serve the one, servo, devi, unum. All right, let's play some Tower of Myraglen. And I think I've kind of restarted, it looks like. And I know that there is a walkthrough. And one thing I wanted to address with equipment is that there is no real equipment list. All there is, I mean, there is an equipment list, but it just shows you what you're currently wearing. Whenever you get something, you just automatically equip whatever is the best weapon or armor. Like the controls are E, examine inventory. That just lets you look at what you are currently equipped with. G, give gold. L, look toward. O, open from, whatever direction you're opening from. T, take from. V, view monsters. Y, yell or talk. C, change command device from either mouse or keyboard. And R, reset Myraglen game speed. It also gives me a bestiary of monsters. So with that said, let's enter. What is this? Furry humanoid. Okay. Okay, it goes through all the bad guys, I guess. Come on, fight! One last one in the corner, and then the treasure is mine. Open. Oops. Oh, I can open on whatever square I'm standing on. Okay. Kind of makes sense. Let's get me some treasures here. Plate mail. Nice. I can recall feeling pretty happy about that when I was a kid. Because plate mail is kind of the best armor you can wear. And I still have a memory of one of these feeding troughs being important somehow. I forget why. What I don't want to do is look up all the secrets of the game ahead of time and kind of spoil it. I want to relive this stuff. Even though I've kind of accidentally started from the beginning again. So, oh, and I want to read off the room descriptions as well, too. Maybe I'm going a little bit too in-depth in my love of this game, and I'll be too boring a video to watch consistently. Come on, north-south passage. I understand where you're going. And what is this room? An ancient room. Okay, great. I went all the way back for that. I'm now going up the foreboding passage that seems to beckon my presence. Waiting for a repair zombie that I'm probably going to avoid. Just barely. Oh, boy. Nice. You can avoid all these guys. But at times they get you. Because I guess monsters can't chase you from other screens. So, once you leave a screen, you're good to go. I think this is a passage. Yeah, I don't want to go here yet. Come on. Excellent. Myraglen passage. I love the door opening sounds. Because it was so... sounded like a door opening. Because this is like 87, and video game sound effects were not that great. Look at those skeleton sounds. I love it. I guess I can fire arrows while I'm doing it. I want to engage them. To fight, you just have to move into them. Okay, left arrow is the button that fires. This room says, a fire once burned this room into great disrepair, leaving only destruction behind. Chainmails. Let's take a look. Examine inventory. I have 1 ring of arrows and 1 plate mail. I don't even have a weapon yet, besides the ring of unlimited arrow. So I've been punching skeletons and repair zombies. Golly. I think when I played this game back in the day, I got up to, hold on. What sucks is every time I try to pause recording, it's activating the giving mechanic of the game. So I have to give money every time I pause. I have to pay for it every time I pause the game. So I guess I can shoot arrows as well while I'm fighting. Ooh, I just got a battle axe. I don't know if it actually shows what damage I do. I don't think it does. And I love the footsteps get louder. There's the room. I am going to have to either pause this recording or figure out how to use video editing software so I can keep what I've recorded so far, start a separate recording when it's midnight, and come back here and play the game. Open that door. Keep adventuring around. Unguarded room is what that was. What's this room here? A worn and broken meeting hall. I see my battle axe and my arrows are making short work of those rats. Are they mice? Those rats sure do keep a lot of gold. And I guess there is, like, in the game, it says there's magic that keeps the bad guy, the monsters, in their rooms. What's... No, I don't want to do that. Come on. Oh, boy. I'm learning how to navigate. These things can't really hurt you, I don't think. But they're hard to kill, so they're more of a nuisance. Like those are the slimes. An Electrum key. What's this thing? Slime. Oh, I can keep track of his hit points that way. It had 639. Let's see what's going on with it now. 563. So I can keep track of the bad guys and how much health they have. Is that all 3 of these places now? I believe so. I might be done with this little... where'd that repair zombie go? Yeah, I believe I am done with this section now. We shall leave and continue forth. Sally forth! Sally forth! Hope you know that reference. There's the fireplace room again. I've got to come back here. Is this a passage north? I don't think it is. No. An old Myraglen room. Aren't they all old Myraglen rooms? Myraglen Passage. North-South Passage. Why am I holding my hand on the keyboard? I don't touch any buttons besides... Well, not in combat at least, or exploring around. Love that door sound. Let's view. Flying manta ray is what those things are. And furry humanoids. And it looks like it goes through all the bad guys in the room. When you press V, these monsters. I have vanquished a peril. And I guess you keep all your gold, but you only keep whatever weapons work well for you. Work the best for you. A short sword shall not replace my battle axe. And there's actually a list of all the equipment in the game in the manual. And a list of all the monsters in the bestiary. I pressed E for examine inventory. I have 8,000 gold already on level 1 of the tower. I'm doing well. Battle axe and plate mail. And the jewel electrum key as well, too. So let's explore more. Explore further. A very faint silver skull painted on the iron door watches your every step. Let's view that door. Oops. The door is locked. And you heard the chiming of the clock. Look what direction. An iron door. Now I'm at a point that I can't adventure any further in this direction. I know there is another place that I can go that I can do more exploring. But if I recall correctly, that locked door is the way to get up to like the area that goes to the second level of the tower. Oops, sorry, Mr. Zombie. I'm gone. You can't catch me. But your buddy can. Oh, I got him. And I can still hear sounds in my subwoofer down below that aren't coming through. Four-way intersection. Worn chalk markings on the wall point east. I came from the south originally and I've gone west. Let's go north. North-south passage. Repair zombie again. Get out of the way. Come on. Myraglen passage. What's in this place? More furry humanoids and manta rays. I'm just clicking the arrow button and moving into the bad guys. I recall that I think if you give gold, it gives you hit points. I think there was, I mean, if I recall correctly, there was some kind of mechanic to heal yourself that way. It's been a long time. That's why you can't use the gold otherwise in the game. I have more health. A mirror. A large silver mirror hangs against the eastern wall. It appears totally untarnished despite its age. Let's look at it. Look in what direction? A mirror. Ooh, As you gaze into the mirror, you feel a sense of peace, of absolute tranquility. A story begins to be seen from within the mirror, much like an animated adventure. Once there was an exceptionally smart boy who grew up to be a powerful wizard. He thought wizardly powers were the answer to the problems of the world. Ergo, he created, through the greatest of spells, a medallion that was capable of draining the soul from its wielder's opponent. The boy, Mendelik, was aged much by the process of its creation, but felt the lost decades were worth the universal safety of the land. But he found, however, that he no longer had the strength of his youth, so he could not use what he had created. Finally, he realized that if the dark side of life gained possession of the weapon, terrible evil could be inflicted on his world, his home. In desperation, he had a tower built to harbor the thing. His tower was built of tremendous stone, of Myraglen rock. The substance created by him for the sole purpose of the medallion's protection was impervious to all forms of attack. The old, feeble, gray-haired man enters his tower upon its completion, never to be seen again. A second story begins. A king summons a brave adventurer to his aid. He tells him about the medallion's terrible power and furthers that it can be easily stolen by thugs because the tower has lost its magical protection, leaving only a few scarce traps behind. For the safety of the kingdom, he instructs the adventurer to enter the tower and retrieve the medallion. Only then can the kingdom be safe once again. The brave journeyman enters the tower and many days later leaves it. He gives the medallion to the king, only to have the monarch drain his soul as the king says, "You naive fool." The king grows older, becoming more evil, pitting cities against cities in awful, unholy wars. Hell becomes the new name for Myraglen. Hopelessness and despair are common. Entire villages are engulfed in flames from nowhere. The stories halt. An apparition of an old bearded man, huddled over a staff, slowly forms before you. He begins to speak. "I am Mendelik, and I am truly sorry. I began this problem long ago by creating the medallion of soul stealing. Forgive me, for I did so with good intent, but without wisdom. I was no more than a naive, inexperienced boy. Of course, my mortality has left me long ago. I am dead. Now an apparition in your mind, no more than a memory. I will aid you, if and only if you are good. For that to be known, you must enter my many tests in my tower, knowing greed of life is evil. If you do not pass, you will surely die. You need the medallion to destroy the king, who is not a king of this world. He is an impostor. He is the king from the darkest side, from a world that is pure evil. He must be stopped with my medallion. I hope you are good, intelligent, and skillful. Without those traits, I cannot give you the medallion." The second story you saw is what could happen if the evil king, the arch-evil Serpendragon, is given the medallion. Prevent the disaster! Even if he isn't given the medallion, awful terror will shroud the once skies of crystal purity. Ah, my fate is as always, fading away. The apparition slowly fades away. I recall fading away is the answer to some riddle in this tower, some puzzle. That was pretty big to have discovered all that stuff. The answer is always fading away. When I was a kid, I would have had a little notepad, and I would have been taking notes in this stuff. Some games I had pages and pages of notes. Not on big notepads, but on like little notepads, but just pages of notes. Now I'll go east. And I read in this online blog that I found A piece of chalk lays on dry reddish dust near the oaken eastern door. And it is similar to a D&D module where you have stuff that you can read in the bottom that like describes what's going on for you. I forgot what else I was going to say. Let's look. A door. Manta rays again. A foul odor permeates the air in this sand-filled chamber. Raw flesh floats in the trough against the eastern wall. I think I recall that this trough makes you sick or something. A feeding trough. Can I take from it? Nothing to take. Open? Nothing to open. Okay. All right. I think that is it for this level. All I can do now is wait for midnight to come, because I don't think I'm going to go so far as to change the time on the control panel in my computer. This recording is probably already close to a half hour. So let's get back to that clock room. And I'll try to save my game. No, that's not it. An old Myraglen room. I think this is it. All right. Here we are. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and comment down below letting me know that you did. I'm going to stop this recording and reconvene at midnight. I'm going to set an alarm right now for midnight in my alarm clock, so I can not miss this. Label: Myraglen clock, midnight. There we go. So funny. I haven't used time in this game in 35 years or so. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.